Bots.
But at least we'll be going. Go, bots. Mic test, mic test. Mic
Now
test,
recording.
mic test.
Audio.
Yeah, because you hear that. You hear that
oh.
one, right? Oh, I think I started. Nope, that's the wrong one. I think you hear that. You don't hear the yark. You just hear the Craig. Craig.
Yep.
Knock on wood, no issues here recently. My Ned Stark cape. It was like a
Winter is coming.
Yeah, it's not showing it. There it is, like Christmas trees and shit, man. I don't know. The kids keep blankets down here. It was just cold all of a sudden. I was like, damn it. Ugh. Clothes are required. Ned Stark. Ned Stark attire. Nearly headless Ned. He did end up headless, didn't he? Did you get into Game of Thrones? That's how I was reading the books.
Yeah, I'd seen a little bit of it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This came in today.
Ooh.
That's a good series.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
Very good.
Yeah, I feel like those HBO Blu-ray copies are pretty essential. I think I got one of the Last of Us ones.
Yeah, I had to support it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
I've got to see, because Cesar was telling me that Chernobyl director is the guy that did Last of Us. We might have to see.
Really?
If we want to watch that. Hey, Chernobyl's fucking great. See if Last of Us TV show we can watch. I don't know that I'll ever make it through the game, so if everybody in the family enjoys the story, maybe we just do the TV show.
I mean, no? I still feel like the game is way better.
Okay. I just didn't love the like moment to moment. And even Cesar played it like 3 or 4 times before. Well, I think he was on the show talking about like he just got the guide and he figured out how to enjoy it by picking up the guide and going through it.
No, I mean I played it even originally on PS3. I just replayed it on PS4.
It's never grabbed me like that. What's up, Box? He must have got the Box must have got the go live notification.
Oh yeah, we need to see if Bleach got it.
I think that's on Bleach. His app must have updated or something, or he just blocked us. I think that's on Bleach's end because I've continued getting them.
Well, he says if he's on his phone, for some reason it doesn't pop, or he gets it late.
Oh,
like he'll get it and it's already like 15 to 20 minutes in.
Yeah, that happened to him for a while, didn't it?
Yeah.
I guess it's just us and Box so far, so maybe we can talk boxes until we start recording the show. Box, I've been sending Brant that same list, like that same stuff you sent me, so it might be a double doozy. I got it on the dot. Yeah, you did. As soon as we started. Man, I've been craving some old school games. I'm so tired of this nonsense. That thing Saturday with the online basically breaking on us, and then
oh my god,
me and you having like 150 gig updates, and I was just like, fuck this. This sucks.
I'm from a simpler time. I miss simpler times.
Yeah. We have all this stuff like on hand. Why are we fighting this?
I remember even playing my optical media, and it never felt like the loading times were that bad, honestly. No. It never felt like it was that bad.
And going back,
like the disc in, it worked.
I thought updates and stuff were brutal on 360 and PS3, but I was like, I've dipped into those catalogs recently. It's nowhere near what we deal with now. It's nowhere close.
It's just the fact that we have so many updates.
Yeah.
It's the product of live service.
Yeah.
Games as a service. That's
where we're at. That's where we're at. Box says the list looked good. Yes, I think so. I think Brant agrees.
Oh, yes. Yes, the lists look amazing.
You get the whole arcade too, so I think it works. Yeah, that definitely works. And I mentioned in that thread specifically Afterburner Climax. I missed out on that at the time. Definitely want to play some Afterburner. Can't get it anywhere. Yeah, Box says those updates were nothing compared to now, much fewer and smaller. Yeah, and these like little title updates, like I think I talked a month or so ago about playing Halo 3 and it worked off the disc, and then I was like, wait a minute, this Xbox isn't even, I didn't even connect this to my Wi-Fi. And it had what, 3 or 4 title updates, and they ran in less than 5 minutes, and it was like a fully up-to-date Halo 3 copy on my drive there. Just seemed bad because net speeds were so slow back then. Yeah, and super slow Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi was like G cards or N cards or something. Remember, Xbox 360 sold those things that clipped on the back before the Slim model, and they upgraded those. Like there was a slower one to start with, and then they upgraded after that. You could get a faster one with like 2 antennas. Yeah, Halo 3 was designed to run off the disc. Yeah, that's always our famous example is Halo Infinite being a coaster.
And it ran perfectly.
What, 300 megabytes or something we found out? Or that's what I thought it was, and it ended up being like 8 gigs or something?
Yeah, it's a little bit more than, It
used the DVD drive to buffer. Single antenna versus 2, yeah.
Yep. I remember having to buy one of those since I had the Xbox arcade version, the arcade edition 360.
That was the big PS3 thing. Both of those launch models had Wi-Fi in them, the 20 gig and the 60 gig. The 20 gig did not have Wi-Fi, I don't think.
I don't know. I
know the 60 gig. I know the 60 gig did. But I didn't have broadband Wi-Fi when that thing came out. Oh, there's a mod to solder a slim Wi-Fi card into an unused open slot on the fat motherboard. I want to try. That sounds awesome, actually. That sounds like a really cool mod, Box. Give it a go. You that handy with a soldering iron? I'm always scared I'm going to fuck something up, but if there's that many donor consoles out there.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend of the show, Joseph. I was talking to him about like a bunch of NES systems that I have sitting around and all that. And he's like, hey, you could have some donor systems, but those are built like tanks. I never found an NES system that I couldn't bring back once I popped the pins back out in that pin connector. I'm sure like the thing that comes for us all is caps. So we just end up needing. I think what I'm going to do, Box says he's got a few donor consoles. Yeah, I'm sure. I think I'm going to end up like those retro repair. Like they're on Reddit threads and stuff, but like box up all these things. Like my JVC XI, the Sega CD part doesn't work all that great. And I bet it's just caps for that CD-ROM drive. Because I've had that thing for 15 plus years and it has no use. So it's probably just lack of use, right? You don't get stuff flowing through those caps. We ready to go? We ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, I guess.
Now recording.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 395 of the NOFODcast. We are No Outside Food or Drink, the Southeast premier video game and retro console Wi-Fi discussing podcast. That's right. Bring us your console. I just mentioned the Sega JVC XI does not include Wi-Fi. We were talking about the launch PS3s. I'm pretty sure that 20 gig did not have Wi-Fi, and that was like a stark difference in because they were both backwards compatible. I think that was it. Brant, what's your favorite retro console that does not have Wi-Fi? Bonus points for no hard drive also.
Oh gosh, there's so many to choose from though.
Oh, there are.
I don't know. I still got to give it to PS1, I feel like.
Well, remember the Net Yagazoo?
Net Yorose was a development
That's kit. A dev kit. Yeah. And even like the NES and the Super Nintendo had serial ports in the bottom. Like the NES, you were supposed to put a modem in there. So,
and I mean, technically, if you want to go off that, you had the Sega Channel.
Yep.
You had
Satellaview for Super Nintendo.
Satellaview, yeah, BS games broadcasts via satellite.
We tried to play a couple BS games Saturday, Brant, and that.
Oh yes, we did.
The satellite internet was not in our favor.
Satellites would not align.
We're talking nonsense. If you come early when we go live, ring the bell. Get ready for the notifications. Whatever the influencers will say. We start talking about random stuff. Thinking Inside the Box joined us early, so that usually carries over into the show in some capacity. This week's news. Oh, I introduced us later. This week's news is Halo Studios working on more Halo, ? I would hope so. Sony responds to new digital game 30-day check-in. There's been an update on Sony DRM. Xbox mode for PC. I have a copy of Halo 2 for Windows, games for Windows in my collection. Maybe I could play that on there. That's what I'm assuming this news is. Another gaming-themed Lego. We'll find out what that is and looks like, and maybe it's probably horrible later on in the show. And I'm not impressed with it, by the way. And we have your May PlayStation Essential Games. I'm one of your hosts, Richard Bergman, joined tonight by Newsmaster Brant McKee. Brant, welcome.
What's up?
How are you, sir?
I'm here to confirm that I did look it up, and you are correct. The 20 gig original PS3 does not have Wi-Fi. It did have a gigabit Ethernet port on it, but
yeah,
no Wi-Fi.
And they had, like, when you look at the original, so that original 60 gig had like the 4 ports and the door that flipped up and had like the compact flash storage and SD card, like for photography and all these, it had all these memory card ports and stuff. The model that they showed off before that had like 2 Ethernet ports. And did that one have the multiple HDMI? There was some crazy shit in the.
Did.
Yeah, there was crazy shit in the prototype PS3s that they ended up scaling back. Cut the Wi-Fi, which is so crazy.
Yeah, it was meant to be kind of like a big multimedia box, kind of like what Xbox did with the original.
Yeah,
that Xbox One, the VCR.
You're right. But the gamble of, like, they both rectified this, both those console makers. And the Wii had built-in Wi-Fi, didn't it? Mm-hmm. It would connect to that Wii Shop channel, and you'd have the glowing blue light, and you would have the news channel and the Wii Vote and all that stuff. But they quickly realized, because PlayStation Store launched a couple weeks. I don't think it was week of PS3 launch. I think it took a minute. But then you had access to that storefront, and not having Wi-Fi in there was kind of a quick way to weed out extra sales on, because everybody I know, you were probably one of them. As soon as you got a PS3, you paid that $6 for Crash Bandicoot, right? On the PSN store, you got that PS1 copy of Crash Bandicoot.
Yep.
And then as those games started coming out, that was an easy sell. But I think that was the only model that didn't have Wi-Fi for the PS3. And it's slow, like we were talking about slow download speeds with Box in the pre-show, but Wi-Fi's come a long way, so those were definitely slow. But if you connect,
I have one of those original 60 gigs, so
I do too. That's another one for repairs down the road. Like, it hasn't yellow lighted yet, and I think those are easier to repair if you don't do it. Yes, yours infamously did, right? Infamously yellow lighted on you.
It was repaired by Sony, so I don't know what kind of repair they did. Hopefully it's a substantial one, because I haven't had any problems since.
Have you ever looked at that and have you seen on Reddit where they actually, you've seen the Frankenstein mod, right? Where you pay somebody $600 for the smaller RSX and all that. I wonder if you got one. They sent some out that they repaired that had been Frankied. It's a Frankenstein mod officially by Sony. I wonder if you got one. You haven't had any issues
with it open.
You haven't had any issues with your 60 gig?
Mm-mm.
Wow. Yeah, Box Brantz did way back in the day, and it was covered under Sony. Was it covered under Sony warranty, or you had to pay for the repair?
I paid because, well, so originally, I waited to get a PS3, and I got the bundle with Metal Gear Solid 4, and then once I realized it wasn't backwards compatible, I then was stammering to try and get a backwards compatible one, and several slipped through my fingers. And then eventually my friend, I found out that he had one, and his mother worked at like Sam's Club, and there was some deal where she could technically like take it and return it and get, and still get like the full price, and then basically upgrade to, you know, one with a bigger hard drive and all this. And I was like, no, bro. I was like, I talked him into, I was like, what is the difference? What is the difference? And I will pay you the money. Give me that, you know, backwards compatible one. And that's what I wound up doing. And then it was Infamous 2. I played 30 minutes of Infamous 2, and then it yellow lighted on me. That was a few years after I had acquired the PS3.
Was your friend Jim Ryan? He just didn't want to play those old games?
No, it was not Jim Ryan.
Your childhood friend Jim Ryan.
I would never befriend a Jim Ryan.
Your friends play old games? I only make friends that play old video games. I got mine. I don't know if I've ever told this story on the air, but EB Games was a different animal than GameStop. Or at least the store that I worked at and the managers that I had, because if somebody came in with like old school stuff, or it's something that they knew you wanted, like I got my PSP this way, they would let you handle a transaction outside. Like, all right, just you got some cash, go meet the person out there and give them more than they thought that you know, then they would have gotten credit wise, and maybe that's not the best business, but at a certain point they were screwing us. So, you know, managers, they kept a balance of like, hey, this is something you really want, you know, our markup on it or whatever. And we were working for a huge corporation. There were so many of those stores. So we kind of did business off to the side, and GameStop was not about that. It was not in any capacity. So I would have been a GameStop store by the time this came out. We would have been like just converted, because it was I didn't get one at launch. I played Cesar's at launch. We played through Resistance that first week after it came out with the 6-axis controller with no rumble. Next generation gamers don't want rumble in their games. They want motion controls. And but somebody brought one in. Somebody brought a sealed 60 gig in, and it was like, you can't take a sealed thing in. Like, I have to open this, and it's only going to be cash and or store credit and that sort of thing. And they wanted cash, and I was like, wait a minute, hold on. And I think it was $360 cash from the store on the $600 launch PS3. And I was like, I'll give you $20 more than that if you can give me like 10 minutes. And I hauled ass to a Wachovia that's in the vicinity of establishment where, you know, I used to work, and I came right back with that cash, and I got that thing. And it was, I think it was after Oblivion came out, because that was like I've got to have this thing. I've got to have this thing for Oblivion. But did I have the 360? I think I was just rocking the Wii at that point. I don't know. I went through, when you're always like trading that stuff, and the libraries are coming and going, and you're being influenced by people talking about stuff all the time. I swapped out so many, like, back and forth. Like, my primary console was a 360 for a while, then the PS3, then back to the 360, because that's where everybody was playing at. That generation was weird, right? You know, it actually mattered what console you had for online stuff. And I hated having to buy an extra copy of some third-party thing, because some people were on Battlefield on this, some people were on Call of Duty on this. That we really have it good as far as that goes these days. I was so thankful when something would be like Gears of War, right? only one place to go with this, and everybody who had a PlayStation was playing online on that. Miss Gears of War. It's like, okay, but at least I don't feel fragmented amongst everybody that I'm playing with. Like you have to have an Xbox to do this thing. So Box says it was peak. I'm starting to we're just old men yelling at the skybox, but I'm starting to agree with you on that.
That generation, I was way more 360, and I was late to that 360 game. But once I got in that ecosystem, because a bunch of my friends had 360s, so I got very caught up in that very quickly, and the majority of the things I played were on 360. And then when I got a PS3, it became like, okay, when the dedicated thing game comes out, so it was like Uncharted. Okay, I'm off of 360 for like 4 or 5 days, guys, and now I'm back, and I was playing this other game. Let's go back to Halo. Let's go back to Call of Duty. But everything, every other thing, I was primarily 360.
And then when they did the coffin program, we bought broken 360s off of people. That's how a friend of the show, Mark's Knight, got one. They didn't want to go through the process, and the trade-in value of the broken 360, the red ring one, was like $40 or something. It's like, hey, I'll give you $50 cash, and then Mark's Knight just filed the thing or whatever for the red ring and death and had a brand new 360. So that was an exploit we also did. Am I a thief? Am I a bad person? Did I steal?
No.
Did I steal from my company? EB was
that company did eventually go out of business, but
EB was a great company to work with. Yeah, they got bought
technically
out.
They're still if you go up to Canada, I believe the electronics boutique still operates out of there. So
yeah, GameStop bought up all the software, etceteras, and now they're after eBay. Brand, I didn't see that in the news.
I was about to say, I completely forgot, and we started this conversation. I was like, damn it, that's what I meant to put in the news. But for some reason, after fucking eBay, and they're trying to pony up, what was 56 billion or something like that. And I'm like, I thought GameStop was like in the red and doing terribly, and here they are trying to buy. Like, what are you doing
for $125 a share? It's so crazy. Box says, I have zero shame for any time I have screwed a corporation over. Yeah, they fucked me pretty hard. They did. Cesar was in retail in those days, and I don't mind talking about this company anymore, but I was an assistant manager, and that was full-time, but full-time might be 33 hours or 34 or 36.5 or whatever they came up with, whatever they shafted you on. And I don't know if I've talked about a lot of this stuff, but I got robbed at this retail establishment in single coverage. So it was just me running the store with thousands of dollars of merchandise. And but I would go in to keep from getting fired. I would work 50, 60 hour weeks to keep that store clean, up to date. I didn't get enough hours. I wasn't going to shaft my hourly employees that, were, I mean, I was hourly too, but like the key holders and the part-time workers, I guess you would call it, because I was full-time at 33 hours, because that's a livable wage at $10 an hour. But I would go in on Saturday nights when I closed and back it down from, I worked like 55, 60 hours, and I would back it down to the 32 or 34 or whatever it was. My girlfriend at the time be up there vacuuming at night, helping me out and stuff. It just, I got hosed. I would have, if I got paid for 1 week of some of those hours, like that pays off that PS3. Or, I don't know. I think about it sometimes. I think about, was I a bad person? But I was good to the people that I worked with. And we won a contest. We got the most pre-orders for Mortal Kombat Armageddon in our region. And I split up. I got some award, and I split up that. We didn't do a pizza party. We did something similar because it wasn't a huge reward. But I split that up with my team. We had a good time with that one. All right, Brant. Is Halo Studios working on more Halo? What sort of Halo are we gonna get?
I was hoping they'd be working on, I don't know, something different.
Old man Halo?
Something different from Halo. I mean, Halo Studios.
Man, we gotta see what this first thing is, right? Before we get super excited about whatever the rest of what they have in the pipeline is, even if it sounds
we have seen that trailer. We have seen that trailer, and while it was early footage and there were some cracks in that trailer, it didn't look bad.
It's a reimagining. It's not a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Halo CE anniversary-esque. That was a remaster, right? This is a remake, so
yes,
and a reimagining. I read something recently. We're actually going to get to this news at some point. I read something recently that you could turn on modifiers for this campaign. Like, you can have the Flood and non-Flood levels. Like the Flood, you never play against the Flood and Silent Cartographer, but it's going to be, you'll be able to toggle some of those things on and off. And I can't.
Interesting.
I don't know if it was a Reddit deep dive or where I discovered this, but there's like campaign modifiers or randomly generated like enemies. Like you replay levels different ways if you turn on these modifiers. So there could be some cool replay value because it's just campaign evolved. There's no multiplayer component to this.
Yeah.
But what else are they working on? Let's see. This is according to VGC VideoGamesChronicle.com and Andy Robinson. Halo Studios is actively developing, in quotes, remakes of Halo 2 and 3. Brent, you like those Halos 2 and 3?
Yes, love 2 and 3.
There's are good Halos. In addition to this year's Unreal Engine 5 powered version of Combat Evolved, it's claimed. That's according to Rebs Gaming, which claims to have received proof from sources that the entire original Halo trilogy is receiving the remake treatment. Quote from Rebs Gaming, one of my news sources sent me proof to verify themselves and confirm that the Halo 2 and Halo 3 remakes are definitely happening. They said, active development is underway. They are in early development. Active development? Early development? I'm in early retirement, but am I actively retiring? Aren't we all? Weren't we always in some sort of active retirement?
Yeah, technically.
Brutes may even make an appearance in the original Combat Evolved missions via a planned new skull modifier, it's claimed. Okay, so this may be along those lines of what I was reading, where these enemies get popped in there. It just the rest of the news recaps the announcement of Halo Campaign Evolved. Let's see what they do with this thing, right? We're still optimistic on what this looks like.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's somewhat disappointing that it's just the campaigns and not the multiplayer, but they're, supposedly working on that new just single multiplayer standalone thing, but we'll have to see what that looks like as well.
Yeah. It sounds like we don't know a lot about this, but it sounds a lot like a Master Chief Collection of sorts, right? That's just a hub multiplayer. Because I don't know.
But especially like 3 has needed it's been the only one that didn't really get like any kind of special treatment as far as like a remake, remaster, or anything. So I think that's well overdue.
And if I remember right, it was either when the backwards compatibility kicked in, you got an advantage to like playing the Halo 3 disc off of the like that version versus the Master Chief Collection version. It had advantages, like it had better HDR or maybe frame rate, or Box says I'll keep my negativity out of it. I'm kind of the same way. I just don't know. I don't know what you want from this. Like what do we want? And
I'm afraid they're gonna like Fortniteify the multiplayer, or it's gonna be live serviced, to hell or something. But
yeah. Box notes, he said Halo 3 is way well overdue, yes, but I'm not sure what these people, we don't know. But so far, like you saw the news today, you saw Aisha Sharma said that they're going to pivot away from Copilot development on mobile and get it out of console. Like that was something they had announced, that the AI thing. And she comes from AI. That's her baby. And they are steering away from that on mobile and on the console too, which is that's great. Maybe they're saying the right stuff. We just have to see it. And I don't know. We have access to this stuff. If I really, really want to play a good version of Halo 3, I pop the disc in my 360. But I know that's
Right.
that doesn't grow the brand. And if you're not somebody like Box that's refurbishing these Xboxes and doing the Lord's work, it's not as accessible. Or if you find something at a pawn shop or heaven forbid a GameStop, what are you getting with that console, to get Halo 3? Those games have stayed affordable. There's no... I always like looking over a back catalog. The PS2, like one of these PS2 games I'm gonna talk about that I've been playing is like it's a definitive title from that era, and it's inexpensive. And I like when things maintain that level of access. It's not like trying to get, The Legend of Zelda for NES is expensive, or Super Mario Brothers 3. Like there's billions of copies out there. But Pokemon has always been the defier, right? Like they sold millions of these things and they're so expensive. I don't understand.
Extremely expensive.
I don't understand how that works. But like the 360, I think is a good example because you have the Halo games, you have Fable, even some of those RPGs. They're not super expensive. Gears of War, the definitive titles for that console are obtainable and inexpensive. So, what is this going forward? Is this a new reboot? What we've been playing games so long? What do we want from this new version of Halo? We'll find out. It seems like we find out more from this new version of Xbox every week. So it's going to be fun seeing where they head. Yeah, Box says getting rid of the Copilot crap is great in my opinion, and the podcast shares your opinion. Absolutely. Brant, you like DRM on your games?
Hell no.
Oh, well. Good news for you with PlayStation. It sounds like they elaborated on their previous reporting from last week. I think it was...
Yes and no.
Yeah, even we were kind of saying this has been misconstrued or not.
So basically, this is from Chris Scullion, VGC. It goes over the first thing like we talked about last week, how, people had seen that 30-day timer pop up on games that, what was it, after April 27th, digital titles had a 30-day thing and 30-day check-in and had to be verified. But then all of a sudden people started noticing that the 30-day timer started disappearing, which started kind of a new theory, which was there's like a 30-day timer is like temporary to avoid pirates using a refund exploit, and the license would become permanent after 14 days. It's Sony has officially come out and talked about they verified the games every 30 days, and that the internal timer is indeed a one-off check. Players can continue to access and play their purchases as usual. A spokesperson for Sony told GameFile a one-time online check is required after purchase to confirm the game's license, after which no further check-ins are needed. The spokesperson didn't go into detail. And yeah, this was technically, I guess PlayStation wouldn't want to kind of go into detail if it is about the exploit, because there was something I saw about if you didn't play the game, or you didn't like download it or something, and you could still request a refund, but there were people that were like downloading it and transferring it but still not playing it, and they would transfer the file to like an offline system and technically still have that license, but then get a refund, and
you could copy something before it bounced that check.
Yeah.
And so they instituted this to make sure it at least does that one time. I get it. I mean, it's just a rental, right? You're just renting this license.
Yeah. One way to get around this, guys, is buy physical.
Buy physical or sail the seas.
Yeah, put on an eye patch.
Even that physical copy, when those servers go away, what are you getting when? And this is way down the road. I don't know. So many that like I said about the Halo 3 title check, that's still pulling down from somewhere off the 360. But thinking inside the box, have you had any issues with title updates with any of those software titles? I wonder how that works. You probably have the means of blocking that check. We can discuss later. That stuff's always interesting to me.
I think with
Arr,
I just see the R.
Yeah, you just gotta say it like a pirate. Arr.
I think with what Box does, all of those things are integrated. All of the
title updates,
all of the updates,
right,
and everything else. There's archives for those. Just like
yeah,
I can talk about it later, but he's saying a stealth server.
Mm-hmm. That checks out.
Updates. Yep. Yeah. I'm setting up a 3DS XL for my nephew.
Okay.
And even though that service is down, I am able to surf the store and get updates. Because there's a way to do that.
Surf the store under the banner of the Jolly Roger.
Yes.
Because they took away our legitimate means. I, back in the day, may or may not have procured a Mac version of a certain editing software and had to figure out how to specifically firewall said, you may have dabbled with this with your Mac software that you've messed with. You could like firewall specific software applications inside the Mac to where it didn't do that DRM check. Cracked versions, I believe, is what these were referred to as. Box says
back in the day I had a few.
Yeah, Box says you can get them straight from Unity, straight off the system in the games menu. Yep, that makes sense. This is what they make us do. But it's funny, like Halo 3 title update, you get the last one, and whenever that was, like 2010, 2009, whenever they last did that. But like you fire up Steam, if I fire up the Steam Deck, and I have Half-Life installed, there may be an update for Half-Life from 1998, like not even, or whatever the source version, like there's so many updates in that, but they randomly get updates, like they add stuff and maybe it's exploits and stuff that get patched out of there, but that stuff's always interesting to me. Like, why does this have an update? Why am I updating Half-Life for Steam here? But that is a first party thing. I don't know. Smarter people than I can answer that. This next story comes from Dave Aubrey at VGCVideoGamesChronicle.com. Microsoft's Xbox mode hits Windows 11 PCs today. This was as of May 1st. It is May 5th as of this recording. Microsoft's Xbox mode for Windows 11 PCs is rolling out. You can boot into Xbox mode for a controller-focused full-screen experience starting May 1st. What is or why use Xbox mode? Microsoft breaks down the three main reasons. With Xbox mode, you can browse and launch games using a controller-optimized interface. So think of like a Steam Deck, like a consoleized experience instead of launching straight into a Windows 11 desktop. Number two, jump back and forth between Xbox mode and the Windows 11 desktop whenever you want. So I guess like a Steam Deck, bouncing between that Linux desktop and the Linux. What do they call that? Is it just Steam handheld? What do they call that mode? It tells you like when you leave that desktop thing.
This desktop mode, and then it's just like Steam.
What is that? It's got a specific name, right? Yeah.
Game mode?
Maybe it is game mode.
It's like game mode or something. Yeah, I think it's something like game mode.
Which is what, and Xbox has been talking about this. It's interesting to see. Like I know these wheels were in motion and the new regime can change certain things quicker than others. But it's interesting to see that, this is still like a priority. Apparently, they didn't keep this mode in development hell and test all these different things. Number 3, the third point, last but not least, access an aggregated game library, including the full games catalog from Xbox Game Pass and installed games from leading PC storefronts. So, like a heroic launcher, I guess we're used to on the Steam OS side. That looks like Major Nelson in this video, but I know that's not. There's somebody else on there.
That does kind of look like Major Nelson.
You see it, right? I had to I had to enhance, but I think that's a younger individual than the Majors of the Nelsons. Would that be a nice goodwill gesture? Xbox brings back Major Nelson, or was that kind of a mutual parting of ways? He did that shit for like 20 years. He was around for a long time.
I think he's retired and he's just like, whatever. It might be cool to like bring him back for some event or something. That would be cool.
Yeah. But, I mean, he was the face of Xbox communications for so long.
Yeah.
In a great way, like viral blast and news announcements and unveilings, and he was always at E3, and it was just I miss associating those personalities with it, and we thought Phil Spencer was that guy at Xbox for so long, and he never. It was he was for a minute. Yeah, he was the guy. We've talked about that Xbox One pivot where we got backwards compatibility and rare replay and Gears of War, and man, they were Master Chief Collection, even though it kind of launched as a dud, but. The launch of Xbox mode follows on comments from Xbox CEO, the previously mentioned Asha Sharma, where she said, quote, "We know we have work to do to earn every player today and into the future. This comes off the back of the recent price cut of Xbox Game Pass in a bid to earn back players, but also remove new Call of Duty titles from the subscription services library," which none of us on the show really took advantage of, unless SR was hitting the campaigns. And we just played Warzone. Brant, what's up next? Because I have nothing positive to say about this. I'm going to let you have your own spin, potentially, unless you also...
We probably have the exact same spin.
Steaming pile of dog shit.
Andy Robinson, VGC. There's a brand new Lego console. So before we had like the NES and the Game Boy, they're dipping into the 90s console with the Mega Drive or Genesis, as we know it here in the US of A.
Yeah.
Complete with detachable controllers and decorative stickers, which I think are probably the biggest eyesore of this thing.
It's those controllers. Are they detachable so you can throw them in the trash? They look horrible.
The controllers look bad too.
God.
Lego Genesis console will be available from June 1st. Priced at about $40. It's made up of 479 pieces. At a build measurement of 4 centimeters high, 6 inches wide, or 16 centimeters wide.
I don't know centimeters.
And 12 centimeters deep.
It's the devil's
metrics.
It's
weird that they put the inches on that. On just the wide. That's weird.
Yeah.
The Genesis set is the latest collaboration. Yada yada.
It's ugly. That we're beating around the bush. It's ugly.
I'm about to say there's nothing else in this article. I would look it up. It does not look good. It does not look good.
And I love it's not a fanboy thing. One of the best comments I saw was like, the Game Boy looks so good. The NES, and I've got the NES one. I haven't built it, but the edge of the box, if you could see on the video, is right there. It's behind Master Chief. But I also have the Game Boy one, and I've seen one of those in person. It's beautiful. But
the thing is, so much detail went into those consoles as well. There's all sorts of like little like Easter eggs and like even the Game Boy stuff. Like you're building the cartridge, and there's like basically a little circle that represents the CMOS battery that you like put in there before you finish assembling the shell, and all this. all this random stuff. This just looks like the console itself doesn't look.
Console looks fine. And
terrible.
Console looks good. I'm gonna say the console looks good.
Yeah, it's modeled after the original Model 1 Genesis
with the headphone jack and the high definition graphic. Does it have that sticker on there?
The volume slider,
which I loved at the time. I loved being able to hook headphones up to this thing. I thought that was a great addition. But the controllers look horrible.
The controllers just look like this weird mass because you have this flat controller piece and then everything else is built on top of it and just kind of weird, and the D-pad is just a single circular piece with a sticker on it, and then you have these they look like weird keycaps for the buttons.
That's like typewriter keycaps, like super high
typewriter
keys coming off of this controller.
It does not look good.
Oh, this is bad. But somebody was joking that whoever's designing these is definitely a Nintendo fan and trying to stick it to the Sega.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Has to be.
That's what it
or
looks
Nintendo's like somehow involved with it, and they're like, yeah, we can help you design this. And
this looks like the At Games version. This is not the M2.
We have Genesis at home.
Yeah. Ooh. I would hate for this to be the Genesis at home.
I mean, is this a Lego or is this a Mega Bloks? Like this look.
I've seen better looking Mega Bloks.
Blocko. I'm about to say, didn't Mega Bloks do the like the Halo stuff?
And they're good. They're like really good.
I'm about to say those were actually really good looking.
They look fantastic. Halo Lego. Now we're talking. Yeah, I've got the Game Boy one. I didn't bring it down here, but I recently discovered that in a Walmart shipping box in one of my kids' rooms. I was like, how did this end up in here? But I've one of my coworkers has that Game Boy Lego one built out, and it looks fantastic. It's super cool. Great piece of kit. This one is a negative.
So yeah, the significant other. My gosh. I've got to accept these cookies. Sorry.
Take those cookies.
Just did send me the fact that not too long ago they did a Genesis controller by itself, but like it was a free gift kind of thing where if you went into like the Lego store or wherever, you got it with a purchase of whatever, and that controller looked fine.
Why did they fuck this one up? Trying to save, like, get it under a price point or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good. That's got the A, B, and C things on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. There we go.
Yeah, the Genesis is a D-pad, start button, and A, B, and C. There's no shoulder buttons. There's no select or back or whatever we would come to know those as, options buttons. It's just start, D-pad, and A, B, C. And ABC is not even labeled, like they went so sticker heavy. Why stop at not labeling the ABC there? It's so strange. It's just a bizarre choice. Maybe the internet will latch onto this like they did the first Sonic the Hedgehog design for the movie and got that completely I don't think it's that big of a deal.
No.
Just vote with your wallet, get it or don't. But I wouldn't put it alongside the NES one or the Game Boy.
No, not at all.
Last but not least, we have your PlayStation Plus monthly games. This comes from Adam Michel, the director of content acquisition and operations a la Sony Interactive Entertainment via the PlayStation blog. Your lead titles, of course, are EA Sports FC 26. Brent, you have to play 1 through 25 to get the lore.
God damn it.
That's coming for PS5 and PS4. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers for PS5. It's a Souls-like action RPG during the tumultuous final years of China's Ming Dynasty. And alongside that, Nine Souls for PlayStation 5 and PS4. Hand-drawn 2D action platformer with Sekiro-inspired deflection-based combat. This is also your last chance. Nope, those are already gone. If you didn't get
those are gone.
Lords of the Fallen, Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remastered, or Sword Art Online.
Mastered.
Fractured Daydream. Oh god, that's horrible. I would not want a fractured daydream. That time came and went yesterday, as of this recording, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. Did you get any good Star Wars jokes in yesterday, Brant?
No, I actually didn't.
No Star Wars jokes on May the 4th day?
No.
I do enjoy the like Trekkie people that troll stuff on social media. Like Will Wheaton always has some sort of Star Trek based thing. I think George Takei said something about enjoy your Star War or something like that. Those always crack me up. Again, fanboy wars. Why choose, right? They're both fantastic. Yeah. Is that it for news, Brant?
That's all the news that I built anyway.
We did it. And we added some other stories in there. We added the Microsoft update and solid news section. Brant, Saturday. We played some Old Man Halo, but we had some hijinks to start off with. It wasn't a super successful.
We played like Wednesday too. Mm-hmm. I feel like Wednesday or Thursday.
We did. Shit, I could be playing some now. Yep. We usually do a midweek Old Man Halo, and then we have been tending to do Saturday night Old Man Halos. Something was wrong with Xbox Live. Did they ever come out and say anything, or was it just services down Saturday?
Yeah, I think it was just a services thing.
So the three of us are there, myself, Brant, and Cesar, and we can't join a party. Like, we can't get into a party at all on Xbox Live, which is how we usually chat. So we stay away from randos, and the call quality is usually better. We can't get into a party. It says services, like Xbox Live services are down, and it steers you into your network settings. Like, you've done something wrong. You have to check your NAT type and all that sort of nonsense. And I'm like, it's open. What is? But did you have that warning too? It's like certain Xbox Live services are not available, including matchmaking and party. I'm like, well, the party doesn't work. So we all ended up on a Discord call. But that didn't work out well for everybody. And we couldn't broadcast it because we streamed Saturday Night Halo. So we ended up in the game chat, which worked better than I recall. So that was not a bad experience. And I think we lost like 2 or 3 in a row, and it was getting late, and we wandered into our bullshit of, all right, let's win one and get out of here. And right at the end of that round, the fourth person in the game chat turned on his mic and was talking to us like, hey guys, I enjoy Old Man Halo too. And I was like, what? We could have been communicating with you this whole time, which is a rarity in this day and age, that you get somebody that you actually want to chat with in the regular game chat. Yeah. But I sent them a friend invite, so maybe we play some more Old Man Halo with friend of the show, Red Shadow, at some point. They sounded like they also enjoyed some Old Man Halo. But that one was a lot of fun. Did we do Cannon Fodder that last one, or was it Fiesta on Damnation? Because Weesh was asking me if we got some good rounds in. I think I had sniper rifles. I think it was...
That was Fiesta. But I don't think it was... Was it Damnation?
We ended on Damnation because it was the ramp.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
We ended up holding that room, and we had the ramp like going all the way down to that little sub room, and then we were watching the spine across there. So those are called pipes. I looked up the Damnation map because I was like, I always forget the map names. And I'm like, I'm trying to tell Bleach, what's the name of this one? And I'm reading over the wiki for Damnation, and those are pipes. It's not the spine. I'm like, I don't know that it ever can not be the spine. It's just it's a big walkway, and they note that in Halo, this is of course Old Man Halo Master Chief Collection, and it's combat evolved, which is not the Xbox version. They add some PC stuff, so there's 2 PC maps, I think, and then you have the fuel rod cannon from PC, and you have the flamethrower from PC. So that gives you a couple extra modes in there. And but I'm reading over that wiki, and there's some lore behind it. Like, it's supposed to be a waterworks that the Covenant set up on the Halo installation. But I think that's kind of why it was cut from Xbox and moved to PC only, because the lore doesn't match up. Like, the Covenant's only supposed to have been there for like 3 or 4 days. They don't have time to set up a full water, production installation sort of thing. So there's just some fun to me when a franchise starts off, and even though they had like the lore Bible and Joseph Staten was in charge of that for so long, it's fun to see these things that they either retconned or they wrote out of the lore. They didn't end up needing to consider that for their stuff. But it's cool that it's in that game, and when that game works, it's still so much fun. I love some old man Halo. I could get on that every night with you guys and play for an hour or two and just have fun. It never feels cheap in the way that newer games can. I mean, there's times we run into Halo gods, right? We ran into one Saturday. I think we took a bathroom break, and just kind of got out of the queue and let that person go. I can't remember their name, but it's like, let them go on and find other games because they're tearing us up. We beat them. We beat them one of those rounds that we got stuck with them, but it was like, let's let them go on. Brant, all my other time has been spent playing Medal of Honor Frontline for Sony's PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system.
Oh.
So I have this. This is one of those, like Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Like, I have this on GameCube, Xbox, and PS2. I need to make a series or something about the ones that I have like the multiple versions of, but I always have paralysis of like, is this the best version? Is this the one I should be playing? What features were cut from it? All this sort of nonsense. I already had been tinkering around with the PS2. I popped Final Fantasy X in, but I'm in one of the Cloister of Trials that is not fun. And I can't just cheese my way through by reading the guide. It's like a timing based one. Like Titus is like flying around on these things. And I failed one of the sections, and I was like, fuck this. I'm not in the mood to play this right now. So I already had the PS2 going. I was like, let me pop in Medal of Honor Frontline. And it starts off, of course, like this is one of Mark's Knight, friend of the show, Mark's Knight, and Chill Mill's favorite games, like, of all time. And I can remember my late uncle, Chill Mill's dad, getting this and playing it, and him just being floored, like, this is like D-Day. This is when Band of Brothers was big, and Saving Private Ryan, and it's like, it starts off with the Normandy landing. You are in D-Day. And I've played that countless times. And I just kept going. And it's a very linear shooter. If you go in the controls, there's like classic Medal of Honor, which is like a one stick. The one stick moves everything, like PS1 Medal of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one called Trigger Happy, which is more shooter friendly if you want to shoot faster or something like that in the description. And this is maybe younger audience members or people listening. Like, first person shooters on a console had not been standardized. Halo kind of set that bar. Like, there's a lot of Halo worship on this podcast, maybe, but it really did. Like, after GoldenEye, it set the whole twin stick, like, move with this, look around with this, shoot with this one, throw the grenade here. And companies and games would end up copying that. But this is right after Halo. This is a 2002 game. And it's not quite, it was in development before that. There were 2 Medal of Honors for PS1, but most PS1 games you could play. Was Ape Escape's the only one that requires the analog controller?
Yep.
The dual shock. So most people had the D-pad and face button type PS1 controllers. But with that mode that I was telling you about, you can aim down sights a little bit with L2 and shoot with R2. So it feels like a modern shooter. But in the era of when it was made, it's very linear. You can't have a lot of people on screen at once. Like, the outside of that Normandy mission, there hasn't been a whole lot of NPCs and stuff. It's a lot of, they would disguise mission structure, and they would disguise like not having to have a lot of things render on screen as stealth. So it's a lot of sneak. It's World War II, but it's not a lot of like unit combat or being part of a division outside of that Normandy mission in the very beginning. It's a lot of like my favorite. I should have been streaming this yesterday. But there's a lot of like, okay, we're going to send you in and you've got to grab these secret war plans on this. Like, where I'm headed now is a plane. Like, they've discovered this Nazi plane, and I've got to go get the design plans for it. I got to smuggle those out. So it's a lot of like, you're a one-man mission, so they don't have to render all these other NPCs and squad mates and that sort of stuff. But there was a mission where you had to steal, and it's so much. I'm having so much fun with this game, and I appreciate kind of the same way Final Fantasy X has a linear nature to it, outside of this cloister of trials that I'm thoroughly not enjoying. But you don't get distracted by a bunch of waypoints on the screen and objectives you have to go through. There are objectives for this, and I've had a couple where I had to turn around and like go backwards, but you don't have map fatigue. You know, it's not like playing Oblivion where you have 19 different quests that you can go on. Like, I'm trying to get from point A to point B, and I've got to make sure I get the map out from behind the painting and grab the German uniform out of the laundry truck, and just these things and if you get to the end of the level, it's like, you haven't met all the requirements, and you have to go, like, I had to backtrack one mission.
Yeah.
There was kerosene. I had to cause a distraction in France by a windmill, and I had to have picked up the kerosene by this German camp. And I was like, where was that German camp at? And I'm like, oh, fuck. And it's just, there's no sprint button. I'm just like casually jogging the whole, point A to point B. I'm going bobbing and weaving back through that map to go pick up the kerosene. But it will tell you, despite there not being like objectives or markers or anything, if you hit select, it calls HQ and it'll tell you like, get the kerosene by the German camp. But this level that I'm talking about, you're sneaking through, and you've got to meet an informant at the end of the level and show him papers, and you have to be dressed in the German uniform. So I got into this bar in the German uniform. And down at the bottom is like this, a passport looking thing. And I'm like, okay, I guess I just have this. And at first I pulled out my pistol somehow, and everybody's shooting at me. And it's like, you blew your cover, and it ended the mission, right? It's like an immediate. And some of these, the checkpoints are garbage. I lost progress on one of the earlier ones. I got like 10 or 15 minutes in, and he died. It was an escort mission, and the guy died. And I'm like, okay, I'll go back. Like, he had to blow up 4 tanks. You had to lead him to them. And he had just blown up the 3rd one, and he got killed. And I was like, well, that'll start me at the start of that one. I was right back at the start of the mission. And I'm like, okay, this is my sign to put this down for the night. But in this other one where I've got the uniform on and the papers, you hold the papers up to people. And I had no clue where to go. I don't know who I'm supposed to show this to. And I'm walking around this bar for 10 minutes, and I'm just hitting this animation where he's just showing this passport to people. And it would have been the best stream because I had no fucking clue what to do. But you go outside this bar area, and you knock a beer over, and the 2 soldiers underneath that start jawing at each other and yelling at you. Then you hit it again, you knock another beer over. Then you hit it again, knock another beer over. And there's a distraction. And then you go around to the informant. I knew there was this guy, this plainclothes guy, like down there washing tables in the bottom. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do with this guy? Showing him the papers over and over. It's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? But you knock those beers over, the soldiers start wrestling at each other, and then you go show him your papers, and he's like, all right, follow me. Come get in the truck. But the mission variety keeps changing up. There was that one escort mission. There's a couple stealth pieces. It's just good. The soundtrack is done by Michael Giacchino. I can never pronounce his name. He got his start doing the first Medal of Honor, and he's the composer for a lot of Pixar and a lot of films since then. Like, he did the Ratatouille score. The one we all know and love from Pixar's classic Ratatouille. But man, and I've been researching World War II shooters, and didn't you go through a Medal of Honor phase not too long ago? Didn't you get Medal of Honor Underground from something or somewhere?
Yeah, I got Medal of Honor Underground. Off somebody's recommendation. I still haven't even played that. I need to.
And I've watched a lot of videos. Like, EA ended up killing this franchise. They got caught up in pursuing. So the team that made Medal of Honor and Medal of Honor Underground. Medal of Honor Underground was another offshoot. That one goes weird places. You go to a Nazi castle, and there's like knights in armor and stuff with like Nazi shields, like running at you with swords. So that one goes some weird places. But this one was like rooted in authenticity. And then this group also did They did not do Rising Sun. That's the one after this. I think they started doing like European Assault and stuff. And there was another group that had kind of branched off from there. And then they ended up pitching like another pseudo Medal of Honor, but Activision picked them up, and that became Call of Duty. That studio split off to be Infinity Ward. And they did the PC Medal of Honor. That's where that branch occurs. But I've started researching like World War II shooters and you know, Call of Duty Eclipse Medal of Honor, and then we had Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, and then Medal of Honor tried to catch up with the modern spin of that battle, and we got one in Medal of Honor was in 2010, the reboot, and then 2013 was Medal of Honor's Warfighter, Medal of Honor Warfighter, and then we got a VR one like 5 years ago, but that's been it from the franchise. And I just appreciate its scope and scale. It does lots of cool moments, like when we jumped into now we're in Operation Market Garden, so it's after Operation Overlord and all the D-Day stuff. There's the snippets. His name is Dale Day, that a military tactician, like expert, and he reads these. Medal of Honor was famous for these, and Call of Duty adopted it. Like these montages of history in black and white, where they talk about they build the gaps, like headed to D-Day and Operation Market Garden, and it's just it's supremely well done, and definitely worth playing. Highly recommend. But that's it for me for games played. We need a retro update, Brant.
I haven't messed around with anything.
I'm sorry, like a tinkering emulation update, not just a retro update.
No, I haven't messed with anything emulation-wise, except, like I said, I am building a 3DS XL for my nephew.
Yeah. Tell us more about that process.
So he was mainly more interested in it for like the Pokemon games, but of course I'm building him more of like a just definitive experience, honestly. His 2DS is what he gave me, and it there was something wrong with the SD card. It wasn't reading. And I wound up trying to change the SD card slot, but it's still weird and buggy. So he's had that 2DS forever. So I just decided to be a good uncle and upgrade him from that little 2DS to a 3DS XL.
A full one? Is this one you already had?
No, I wound up just having to buy this one. And
how much are they going for? Because I was at an establishment today, and you looked at the prices and said it was a little high.
It was a little high.
Yeah.
This one was just under 2, I want to say.
Okay.
Or around 2, and for shits and giggles, when I got it, I press and held some certain key combinations to see if it already had custom firmware, and surprise, it did.
Oh. Does that make it easier, or is that more difficult to try to unwind what was already there?
No, it's
easier.
It came with a SD card, like a 32 gig, but I already had like a 120 127 or something, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Gig card.
Ready for just pop in there.
So I just literally popped it in. Created that 3DS file. After you have to format it to I want to say it's I think it's exFAT.
And not
FAT32.
Not FAT32?
I don't think it's 32. I think it's
let's talk file formats.
I think it's exFAT.
Yeah. Like a PS3 firmware upgrade.
Something about the 3DS, it's like it only takes cards up to a certain, I think 64 gig, but technically you can do larger if you format them in exFAT.
From my
So
my IT experience, it's whatever the OS can recognize. It's like a 32-bit OS only goes up to certain. It can only see certain capacity, and that's how we ended up with like 64-bit stuff.
And the only trade-off is like the bigger the card, the longer it's going to take to boot that console. So
okay,
it takes forever to read in that. So like I've seen people that put a 512 in a 3DS and it takes quite a bit from pressing the power button to actually
but it does work
into the system. But it works.
Oh, that's the crazy part.
So, but anyway, I got him this. It was as simple as like throwing the right folders and everything onto the SD card after I had everything formatted. It had an older version of that custom firmware, which is called Luma.
Okay.
So that was easy to upgrade because you literally go to the GitHub, get the file, and you just put it on the root, and it's already there. You go. It boots into the updated version of it. And once I made sure that was done, I booted into the other portion of it, which is like it's called God Mode 9, and ran the applications to like back the system up, and then also it puts all of the essential apps that you'll need. So you're familiar with those like Anemone and the Homebrew channel and all those other things. There's like, I don't know, 4 or 5, maybe 6 applications it throws on there. So, and then after that, you're golden. You start doing everything and anything. FBI is one of those applications.
Yeah, I remember FBI on mine. You've done the Lord's work on this. I bought one like during COVID or pre-COVID that already had a bunch of this stuff on there. So I know you get an understanding of how it works when you build it like you've done. I inherited it and it's like, okay, what does this do? What does this do? Just trying to figure out what these different things are.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, he was more interested in the Pokemon games, which yes, you can get all the way from Gen 1 Pokemon up to what was it, Ultra Sun and Moon, and then of course there's a bunch of mystery dungeons and the trading card game and all that other stuff from Game Boy. The original 3DS has its limitations when it comes to some emulation. Mm-hmm. Like the new 3DS had better processing power, better 3D capabilities, and Nintendo said that added SNES to the Virtual Console on there through it, and said only the new 3DS can run those. There's a emulator you can put on there, and I'd say majority of the games will work fine. I mean, some of the Super FX games, I know I booted up Star Fox 2 and it ran it chugged.
I mean, that's an advanced Super Nintendo game too.
That is an advanced Super Nintendo game, but the majority of other Super Nintendo games run absolutely perfect. The weird one I did notice is everybody remembers through the Ambassador program they had GBA emulation. So I downloaded all of those titles that could be downloaded. Or I was going to, and then I did notice there is a GBA emulator that you can download. So I was like, you know what? I'll give him the whole library. Went through this whole process of putting the whole library on there. The GBA emulation absolutely sucks through that emulator. Yes.
Oh, it's just the emulator?
Yes. But if I actually go through the process of either injecting GBA titles into the Virtual Console emulator or downloading the official Virtual Console GBA games, they work perfect. So I'm like, okay,
what are those running in?
Weird.
What wrapper do they have?
Nintendo's whatever proprietary emulator they built for that Virtual Console. So it's I don't know, it's weird.
Magic.
And like I said, I think I told you about that once, is like there's only that Yoshi game that actually used gyro for whatever reason. Doesn't work in the official Nintendo Virtual Console emulator, but for some reason the emulator that you can download actually supports gyro, so you can play it in there. So I was like, I'm
gonna say Yoshi Tilt and Tumble, but that's a Kirby game.
It was Yoshi's Topsy Turvy.
That sounds right.
I think.
Yoshi Topsy Turvy. That's it.
Yep. So I built him a more curated list of GBA games.
Okay.
And I've put him just about all sorts of things I can on there, so he'll have a lot to go through. I'm
That's awesome.
Downloading the last game I could find. I think there's a couple more I was gonna like actually preserve from my physical collection.
Yes,
off of here.
Legitimate backups.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, he should be pretty good to go pretty soon here. And then other than that, I played some Halo with you and Cesar and Weish, and I also played some Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which is that
I saw you on that one day.
Beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love beat 'em up games. Streets of Rage, and I'll even take it to Double Dragon, River City.
I'm down for some River City.
I know you. But the Turtles, Ninja Turtles, all those side-scrolling beat 'em ups were amazing.
Yeah.
But this Marvel's Cosmic Invasion is really good. It's got a campaign and a arcade mode, which the arcade mode you just choose like two heroes, and you can switch back and forth between them kind of freely. You've got your basic like jump, punching, and then they all have like a some kind of move specific to them plus a super. You can combine and actually like do like combo moves with the assist character that you have. It all has to do with this enemy called Annihilus, who's kind of like this bug guy, and he's
bug guy
trying to take over the universe, and he has like these almost like little parasite bugs, and they're taking over other characters or other enemies. So you're fighting like all these other baddies and other people.
You said assist character, like is that assigned based off of the main character that you pick, or is that like something you load in there? You pick this
no
assist
like
character?
Yeah, literally when you are at the main screen you pick two characters.
Okay.
And I mean
that's
you
the
can
tag team in the branding. I got you.
And you can actually like you can freely swap in between them. And I mean certain characters actually have like a block ability. Some characters can like fly. If you like double tap A, they like hover and fly. So I mean each character is very unique. You've got a mix of Captain America and Black Panther, Spider-Man. You've got Beta Ray Bill and a bunch of the X-Men, of course Wolverine and Storm, and it's a pretty decent story. When you go through the campaign, it'll kind of highlight which characters it wants you to use at like which stages, because those stages have specific um
like a skill set or
no, it's they've
item?
got like achievements or challenges tailored, like it's specifically for those characters. So
Gotcha.
you know, if you want to complete those challenges, it'll just have like a little white like pulsing light around those characters, but you can still pick, whichever ones you want to. And I'm having a great time with it. I'm just playing it by myself, but it would definitely be fun with like a group of people. So we've got to get, I know Cesar has a copy. We got to get you and maybe Buisha copy.
We should copy and play this.
Yeah. Back on the we could do the Switch and do the crazy little cameras.
The game chat.
About to say you got Buisha camera, and I don't ever think he used it.
I don't think he has either. I don't think he has. Yeah, the game chat's pretty cool, and now it's out of beta, right? It's not just the peasants; it's the upper echelon Nintendo fans like us, the royalty that have access to it. Cut out the peasants. I kid. It's part of the Nintendo Switch Online Plus service, which we share as a family, the close-knit family we are. All right, Brad. I like the update on tinkering and emulation chaos. Is that it? Is that it for us? We're done?
I think that's it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this week, and we will catch you next week. Bye.
See you. Adios.